Very good evening and a very warm welcome to all of you. It's a pleasure, a very auspicious evening. We are starting our first series of Know Their Story, Write Your Story series. The UPSC Civil Services results for the year 2020-21 were very recently out, and we had all the achievers celebrating their ranks. The reality is, this achievement glory is a day's glory, but the story behind that achievement is of years. A dream that begins with and a dream that finally realizes. So, one to reach their destination, the path they take, the struggles that they undergo, and every small work that they do. Here amongst us, we have All India rank 195, Raviraj Avasti. Thank you so much that you made time for us. Going with his credentials, he comes from a very distinguished academic credentials. He is from IIT Indore. He is a mechanical engineer from IIT Indore. Presently serving with Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO, as a scientist. So, scientist is now entering the bureaucracy. So, it's a very interesting combination of a scientist coming into bureaucracy and to be serving. Comes basically from Uttar Pradesh, Rai Bareli. Both his mother is a housewife and father is working. So in that background, to be a scientist and today to be a civil servant, a dream come true event. It's all time to listen about his path towards his journey, the success story, and the small words of guidance and the tips that he would have to his youngsters. After a small talk, we will have some questions which we'll take both online and offline of those who are here. And with that, we'll take it. So I'll now invite Srinivas sir to briefly welcome and also officially welcome through a book.
Good evening, all. Today is the auspicious day for India for IAS because in olden days it's very difficult to meet successful candidates. Now you can meet easily successful CSC candidates. It's all you people are very lucky. Today, Mr. Raviraj Avasti is with us, and I congratulate him, entire Team India for IAS, and on behalf of you all. Today, Mr. Raviraj Avasti is going to share his rich experience and civil service preparation journey. Mr. Prashant giving a right title today, and please make the best use of it. Once again, I heartily congratulations on his success and on behalf of entire India Team India for IAS and you people. Thanks a lot.
So I request Srinivas sir to very formally welcome Raviraj Avasti to the larger family of India for IAS that we call. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation and coming all the way along to. And congratulations on this achievement. We wish you take the name to much bigger heights. So we have called this session Knowing Their Story, Write Your Story. So all of you are here with a dream for your own self. ನೀವು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದ್ ದಿವಸ ನಾನು ಒಬ್ಬ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ದೇಶ ಸೇವೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಕನಸನ್ನು ಹೊತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ. With that small dream that each one of you have somebody who has achieved that dream. So it was a time where we used to read success stories. We used to be hearing about, okay, this is how the person has studied. And many times there are also things that most of the things of what we read may not be right. So here you have somebody right in front of you who will be talking about his journey, especially working and also continuing. So what is that he went through and the small words of guidance he would have as an elder brother to all of you. After that, we'll also take questions. Raviraj sir, it's all your stage.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me at the back? It indeed feels great to be here and to have cleared civil services in the first attempt itself. But the journey was a very long one and definitely not an easy one. My preparation started in September 2019. Now, but coming from a job in ISRO, which was a very stable job and a good one indeed also. So obviously there was a question in mind that why civil services? Why do you want to leave your job in ISRO and go for the civil services? And probably The answer didn't come at once. The answer came throughout it in the meantime, and throughout the journey, it got enriched. And now I really feel that the answer is truly the one that I believe in, and it should be the one that should be very specific to an individual. Some people want to do some great work for their nation. Some people want social recognition, whatever it may be. Have your own reason why you want to come into the civil services. Because the journey is going to be a long one. It's an extremely unpredictable exam where there's unpredictability at the each stage. But it is the reason that you have that you why you want to come to the civil services that is going to help you a lot. Your journey will be full of ups and downs. It is not going to be a stable one. There will be moments where you'll be like, I'll study for 14 hours today. But there will be moments where you'll feel like, I can't take this anymore. I want some other job. But it is in these moments that this why of civil service is going to help you and lift you up, and which is going to push you towards your study table and make wonders. Well, my journey started in September 2019. The exam was in May 2020, the prelims in that year. And usually people start their preparation from March or from May or April itself. So I was already 4 or 5 months late into the preparation. I was a working professional. I had 8 hours of work every day. Then I used to come in the evening, then study for 4 5 hours. So there's a one very basic myth regarding the civil services exam that you need to study for 14 hours or 15 hours every day. It is not possible for everyone or for anyone. Any person who says that I study for 14 hours is either a ghost or he doesn't even exist. Because if you continue studying for 14 hours every day for 1 month, you will go crazy. So is that really possible or is that just a myth? I'm here, I'm standing here, I have cleared it in my first attempt with my job coming 4 5 months late into the preparation. So that does show that it is a myth. That you don't really need to study 14 15 hours. But yes, you need to study for at least 6 7 hours with a lot of concentration and consistency. This is an exam that requires consistency. You have to be consistent with your efforts. You cannot be like, I'll study for 4 days in a week, then for 3 days I'll take rest. Then again, from Monday to Thursday, I'll study and then 3 days rest. That is simply not how it works. This is an exam that requires a lot of effort and a lot of energy. Sometimes it will drain you completely, and that is a risk that you have to take because the end result is something that you will enjoy. And very basic thing that I would like to say is please don't make this exam an end in itself. Always see this exam as an opportunity to do something great for your country. Getting into an IAS is not the end. That is where the actual work starts. So always have a target that once you get into the services, you will do this. You will work for women empowerment, you will work for the education sector or health sector. That should be your main objective to be here rather than enjoying the perks of an IAS officer or an IPS officer. Because those perks are given to you to do your service better rather than simply sit and enjoy it. Right? So coming back to my journey, it was in September 2019. Being a working professional, I had a very limited window of time to study, hardly 4 to 5 hours every day. But I had ensured and I had made sure that if I have to do it, I'll do it in my first attempt itself. Because it is often that your first attempt is your best attempt. That is when everything is so new to you and you enjoy studying everything. Please don't make a 5 year plan that I'll do it in third attempt or fourth attempt aram se karenge. That simply doesn't work because that is going to drain you. Always target that you'll do it in your first attempt and be done with the process. Now, once you come into the preparation, there are a lot of things because everything is so new for you. And there's so much of information available in the market that study from 5 sources, 6 sources. You should study for 15 hours every day. You should study these many books. What I believe the key to the preparation and the key to end this journey is have minimum resources and get the maximum benefit out of it. I did not have the liberty of studying multiple books for this exam for one particular subject. I just ensured that I have enough content to write a 250 words answer, and that's it. That is all required, because what is the maximum that can be asked in this exam? Just a 250 words answer, right? Just have enough content to write that answer and be done with it. And the most important part of this journey is revision. And I cannot put enough emphasis on this aspect, because it is ultimately how you recall the thing in the exam that matters. Be it prelims, be it mains, be it even interview. In the mains, you have to write 250 words answer. You have to write 20 questions in 3 hours and different aspects. Are you all just the beginners into the preparation? So initially, please put enough emphasis on revision, because that is the thing that is going to give you good amount of hold on the subject whichever you're going to study. And please do a lot of practice. Whenever at the month end you have the compilation, study that compilation, give a test on that, because it is, rather than studying 5 books and then giving an exam, I would get more learning if I give one test and study the answer, because then that is when you start to study that, okay, this is where I went wrong, this is what I could have done. That sticks in your mind. Please focus on these aspects. Now, since you have started your preparation, everyone would have their own strategy. See, everyone has their own reality, right? You may have some academic background, other person may have some academic background. Now, people who think that they have great academic background and they will score easily and they will sail through this exam, it doesn't really, it is not correct. The exam is same for every individual. This exam is same for every individual, be it a person from an IIT or be it a person from a private college also. And even the best of the best get humbled in this exam. You'll find a lot of people coming from the IITs who could not simply clear this exam even in the sixth attempt. So put your ego behind. Ensure that you start from the scratch, because your past doesn't matter here. Exam is going to be the same for everyone. It is going to be equally difficult for everyone, and the marking, nobody knows who is going to check your copy and what your past is. Right? So start from scratch. See, now once you have entered here, see what is to be done. Look at the syllabus. See, the exam is nothing more than what is mentioned in the syllabus. There's nothing more that can be asked. Right? Prelims, I do believe that it is a bit unpredictable, but mains is what is in the syllabus. That's it. There's nothing going to be more than that. See the syllabus. See the previous year question paper. Follow a smart strategy. See, hard work is something that cannot be neglected in this particular journey. Whomsoever has found their name in the list, or who have not found their name in the list, everyone have worked hard. Each and every one of them have put a lot of effort into this. So there is no substitute for hard work in this system. But to lessen your hard work, there's something called smart work also. These days, so much of information is available online. So much of information can be gathered from the coaching institutions. You are coming here for guidance. Use that, use that very diligently and reduce your effort. Because for me, I had very little time for myself. So I use a lot of internet to cut down the timing for myself. I You will be surprised to know that I didn't even read newspaper till my main exam. I followed online sources for it. I usually followed the YouTube videos which are available on the internet. So have a smart strategy. See what is required to crack this exam. If you have 1 year of your time, use that time very diligently. Ensure that whatever is required to clear this exam, you do everything. Because once you are done with this process, you should not regret that, okay, maybe I didn't do this thing. That regret should not be there. That's why ensure that you do each and everything. Coming to the strategy, it's very individual specific, but there are some broad contours that can be helpful. First is having a good hold on your optional. Have you all decided your optional subject? Everyone has decided, right? Stick to that optional subject. Be very thorough with it. See, optional is a game changer in this journey. everyone scores more or less the same in the general studies, essay, or even in the personality test. But it is the optional that is going to make your rank. Please be very, very thorough with your optional. Choose your optional. Please choose something that you enjoy. Don't choose an optional which is scoring a lot, or you may feel that okay, the topper has taken this option. Maybe this is a good option. I'll take this one. Please don't do that. Take one option which you love, because it is ultimately you who is going to spend 1 year of, or 2 years of your life studying this option, who is going to write two question papers on this option in the mains. Choose an option that you enjoy studying. Once you are done with your option, start with your general studies. Now, general studies is very, very wide. So you need to see how much you need to study and what do you really need to study. See how newspaper is to be studied. UPSC doesn't focus on the news. It focuses on the issue. For example, if there's a event of custodial violence in Tamil Nadu, your headline of custodial violence in Tamil Nadu will just be an example in your answer. Focus on the issue. What is custodial violence? And just have enough content to write a 250 words answer. Now, what content do you really need? For every answer, you need three basic things. What is the issue? What is the merits? What are the demerits? And what is the way forward? Because as a civil servant, you are expected to have a good way forward. People expect you to find a solution rather than just point out a problem. Right? Have these four things ready regarding one issue. Practice an answer related to this issue and you'll be done with that. You don't need anything more than this. That's why I said hard work is done by everyone. Please complement it with a bit of a smart work. Reduce your effort. If you have a restriction of time, reduce your effort. Try to reduce your effort in a smart manner and use technology in this. There are a lot of platforms where you can start your answer writing as well. Now is not the right time. Some people say that I started answer writing from the very first day, but don't do that. My personal belief is don't do that, because unless you know anything, how are you going to write an answer? The very first step to write an answer is actually make your own notes. Focus on making your own notes. The way see, you are not going to make your notes perfect on the very first day. The very first answer is not going to be a very good answer. It is going to be the worst answer that you'll ever write. The very first essay that you're going to write would be the worst essay that you'll ever write. But please write it. Because unless you write it, how are you going to realize where you are going wrong or what improvements you need? Please start these things. Start making notes. The way you make your notes would be actually reflected the way you write your answers. The way I made my flowcharts in my notes was reflected in how I wrote answers in the mains exam. So please make your own notes. Have your own strategy. Have a broad strategy as to how you are going to cover your entire process. How are you going to cover your optional? How are you going to cover your general studies? See, some people will say that I had daily plans, I had hourly plans. I also had a similar type, but what I felt was that this daily plan and hourly plan is doing nothing but putting more pressure on yourself. Have a broad target that okay, in this 1 week I'll finish this particular subject. In this 1 week I'll finish this subject. And if there's anyone in front of you coming to you and saying that this is a very difficult exam, I cannot crack it in my first attempt, he's simply lying. Because people do it and it is doable in the first attempt. And each and every one of you can do it. You just need hard work, you need a lot of patience, you need a lot of consistency in your efforts. That is all that is required to crack this exam. It is not a difficult exam, it is a different exam. It requires you to be consistent with your efforts. That is all required. Is GS really difficult? Or is any subject so difficult that you cannot understand it? I really don't think that GS is so difficult. But what is difficult is continuing the efforts each and every day to ensure that you finish everything. The syllabus itself is so vast that it will take you more than an year to finish it. and that cannot happen until unless you are consistent with your efforts. It is not going to be difficult, but it is going to be different. I don't think most of you are you from the engineering background. Most of you, right? As expected. See, in engineering, we really don't put so much of efforts, right? We'll study 1 week before the exam and get done with the exams, get good grades, graduate. Okay. But that is something which is very different from what you get in civil services, because this is a place where you have to be consistent, you have to put a lot of effort, but you will realize the result. You will fall down in your journey, you will learn from your mistakes, and then again you will grow. So just be consistent with your efforts, and best of luck.
Thank you so much. That were, thank you so much. Those were words of wisdom, words of experience, and words coming from the heart directly, because when he knows what he has gone through, he wants to tell you that this is what I've gone through, and this is what you should do, and this is what you should not do. Um, Pretty much he's covered things in detail. He's given you ideas from the beginning to the end in terms of what is the idea of prelims, mains, and how is about answer writing, notes making, and all that. So after that, if there are some questions that you want to ask, if there are some pointed questions, is this right, is this wrong, please feel free. The session is open for questions. We'll take questions both from online and offline. So people online also, please put in your questions on the chat box. We will be asking them. People here, raise your hands. We'll come towards you so that you can answer questions. Please feel free and ask questions, because as he said, the first step is to say, I can. Anybody who has questions, please raise your hand so that we'll.
Sir, you just mentioned that you hadn't covered newspapers till the mains. So, in the span of just 3 months, how did you cover the notes as well as prepare well for the mains from the newspaper?
See, what I feel is once you start reading the newspaper, the first difficulty is what to study from a newspaper. So you have to be very thorough with your syllabus as to what is actually required from the UPSC's perspective and what is not required. Don't go for the political news or the news which have a lot of masala in them, because that is not what is asked. Go for the issues. Look at the syllabus. See what news is relevant from the syllabus. See, it is not going to come to you all of a sudden. Initially, it will take you 3 hours to study a newspaper itself. But once you are thorough with your study, once you are into your preparation, that time is going to come down. Now, as to how I used to make notes, again, I would say that UPSC focuses on the issue. Like I mentioned, suppose if there's a flood in some city, see whether there's any previous year question related to that issue, or whether it forms a part of your syllabus. If it forms a part of a syllabus, like the floods in Pune and Hyderabad last year, the question came into the mains exam that uh, there was a question related to floods, as to please give an account of the flood which happened in Pune and Hyderabad. But the question had a larger picture associated with it, which was urban floods. So study it from that perspective. Study if there's an issue of urban floods, why does it happen? All you need is just 5 points to write an answer for each aspect. You want to write merits, it just needs 5 points, because you have very limited space to write everything, right? One answer has to be comprehensive. Start with an introduction. Now, what is the issue? Write 5 points regarding that issue. What is the merit? Just need 5 points. Demerits, 5 points. Way forward, 5 points. And way forward, if you can find something authentic like some committee's recommendation, in this case NDMA's guideline, that could actually fetch you more marks than your own recommendation. So all you need is just have enough content to write a 250 words answer. That's it. And this will come to you once you look at the toppers answer sheets. See how the toppers write the answers. See what is asked in the question. If you see a question, there will be a lot of keywords in that question. Underline those keywords and make sure that you address each and every keyword. That is all that is required. So Please don't go for just the hard work. Have a little bit of smart work also. See what is expected out of you and just do that. It is nothing else. Otherwise, you will be just increasing your own work. See what is expected. That's it. Any other question?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Congratulations on your results.
Thank you.
Sir, what guidance would you like to give for aspirants who are starting their preparation from the first year of graduation?
First year of graduation.
Yes, sir. I'm about to join next month. What guidance would you like to give for me?
How old are you?
I'm 18, sir, now.
My first advice would be enjoy your life right now. You can start it in the last year of your graduation also. Your time in graduation is not going to come back to you. Enjoy that time. And see, the exam is very dynamic. There's no one pattern that is followed every year. Look at the prelims. How the prelims is changing from 2018 to 2020. Have a track of these things. See, and since you have a lot of time, you can be very thorough with the subjects, but don't go too deep, because don't go to the extent that you will find you want to study to the optional level, because the knowledge of optional should not be used in the general studies. Otherwise, the answer doesn't look like a general studies answer, it's an optional answer. Don't do that. Enjoy your time right now. Have a track on the current affairs, what is happening, and you can do a practice of things like ethics and essay. Since essay and ethics are something which are not very dynamic, they are related to current affairs, but the themes are more or less repeated every year. So you can focus on that aspect right now. Do your optional well. What is your graduation subject?
Sir, I've taken mechanical engineering. RV College. I'm about to join RV College.
I also had mechanical engineering optional. So study mechanical engineering really well in your college, because if you have studied it well in your college, if you are very familiar with it, you don't need to stress out a lot on the optional part. I had studied mechanical engineering fairly well in my college, so it took me only 2 months to finish my optional. So look at the syllabus of the optional. See what is required, because not a lot of thing would be taught in your college. Even in my college, I was not taught all those things. So ensure that once you're studying something, be thorough with it, complete it as per the syllabus, and also enjoy your life.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good
Hearty congratulations for you.
Thank
Sir,
you.
can I get some tips regarding the time management in your journey you have gone through? Time management between the optionals and the GS part.
See, time management is a very, very crucial aspect, and it was very crucial for me because I had my job also. There are a lot of things that you can do. Like, one is, see, there are two aspects once you start your preparation. One is studying the new content, other is revising. Please put a lot of emphasis on the revision, because you, everything should be on your fingertips once you're writing the exam. Once you go for writing mains, it should come in 1 second. Otherwise, you are going to lose your marks in the paper. You will leave the paper. So focus a lot on the revision. It is a very crucial aspect. You can revise once in 3 days or twice in a week. Go for the revision. Whatever you have studied, be thorough with it and revise it properly. Because, and very important thing is, that I would suggest is, read one book 10 times rather than reading 10 books one time. Be so thorough with it with one book, so that if any question is asked from that, you will not miss it. Otherwise, the scope for prelims is everything under the sun. You cannot go and read out each and everything. But whatever you have read, you should not miss out from that. And regarding optional, see, optional comes into the picture once you have cleared prelim for mains exam. So, since you are in the beginning of your preparation, finish your optional very thoroughly and as soon as possible. Once you are done with your optional, keep it aside. Keep revising it, like once in every 2 weeks. You can give a test on an optional. You can revise the option. You can keep one day for optional, revise and give a test on it. But then, once you're done with your option, focus on the general studies. Once you are done with the prelims, come back again to watch your optional, finish it again, do the thorough revision, and give a test on it. Please don't hesitate from giving a test. The very first test that I gave in my preparation was a current affairs test. Out of 200, I scored I think only 50 or 60. But it was a great learning because you need to get into the habit as to how to eliminate the options. Look at this year's prelims. By studying everything, you could hardly do 20 to 30 questions properly. After that, it is all eliminating the options and making the educated guess. Don't hesitate from taking these steps. Don't hesitate from giving a test. Don't hesitate from writing an answer. These are the things that you have to ultimately do in the exam. So why hesitate in this? Right? Thank
There are some questions online, so I'll just put them on so you can answer to the camp. One of the common question that all of them want to know is about your interview experience. So all of them are interested to know your interview experience.
My interview was quite unpredictable, to be honest. The I mostly what is expected of you interview is you are thorough with your detailed application form. Whatever you put on your detailed application form, you should be extremely thorough with it, and it should be true, and you should be very honest about it. So most of my mock interviews actually revolved around ISRO or IIT, but in my actual interview, I was not asked even a single question from that. It was a complete current affairs related interview, and each member grilled me until I said, "Sir, I don't know." So but it was a very nice experience. They'll make you'll enter into the room, they'll make you very comfortable, and then the grilling would start. For some people, it may not be the same. For some people, it may be just a cakewalk also. They may ask simple questions and then you may leave. So that depends on the candidate also. It's a very, very individual related experience, but it would be a nice experience.
Okay. Is there something that we should keep in mind while we are making notes? The most important thing that we should remember while making notes.
Well, the very first thing is make notes, and there are few broad contours using which you can make your notes, like I had mentioned. See, once you write an answer, what is required? You need to write an introduction. Now, how to write an introduction? There are a few things. Either you can start with a definition, you can start with a fact, or you can start with some other authentic source. Have that thing ready for your introduction, right? For example, for me, if whenever there was a question on globalization, I used to write the definition that globalization is a phenomena where the any event happening in one part of the world has a propensity to affect the other part. That would be my introduction. So have this introduction prepared for that issue. Now, once you're coming to write the merits or demerits, whatever the point you may want to write, what I used to do is for every point that I would write in my answer, I would write an example for it or a fact for it. Doing this actually substantiates your answer. It substantiates your argument. You don't need to explain it to the teacher in the 4 5 lines that this is what I meant. Once you write a point, write short points, write an example for it, and be done with that point. You can make your notes in a similar manner. Don't make your notes too long. Otherwise, revision becomes a very tedious task. Use a lot of flowcharts in your answers. Use a lot of flowcharts in your notes. That will help you reduce the space also. That will help you in the final exam also, and that will help you do the revision quickly also.
Thank you. So there are questions about how how exactly is it easy to manage a job with preparation, and would you suggest us doing a job with preparation?
To be honest, it is not easy managing job with the preparation. Your life will become hell for 1.5 years or 2 years. But being a working professional, you have to ensure that you do whatever is required to clear this exam. The exam is not going to be different for a person who is in a job or a person who is doing it in a sixth attempt or is in daily preparing full time. Exam is going to be the same for everyone. You have to ensure you do whatever is required to finish this process. Working professional, again, I can give some advice. What I followed was there are two aspects of your preparation, like I said, revision and new content. Reading a new content takes some time. It requires some continuous time, and it may not be feasible for you to find that time in your office. So in your office, you can focus on the revision part. Carry your notes with yourself. Suppose if your lunch is for 1 hour, finish it in 20 minutes. Come back and revise in the next 40 minutes. Please don't go for the tea time to chit chat with the other people. Study, revise at your table. Because as a working professional, you have to scratch the time from wherever you can get it. Because there is no other alternative. Otherwise, you'll get trapped in a very vicious cycle if your syllabus is not over before the exam. So please focus on your preparation. Please don't go for the distractions. Please use your weekends very wisely. You don't have the luxury of wasting time on the weekends because that is the only time that you get to prepare. Use that time very properly and in best of luck.
There are two questions more. One is about you stressed on reading NCRTs. While reading NCRTs, is it important that we read it from an analytical perspective or we just read as a static understanding?
To be honest, I didn't read NCRTs. I read NCRT only for geography and for art and culture. There's a fine arts NCRT book of class 11. See, whenever you are reading anything, it is important that you understand that thing thoroughly in and out. So that if any question even related to that aspect is asked, you can answer that. So read it from both the perspective. There's nothing like I'll read it only for the static perspective and not from the analytical perspective. Because what will you do if the fact-based question is asked? You cannot afford to skip that question, right? So again, like I said, please ensure whatever is required to do so that you don't have regrets after your exam that I didn't do this. Read it from both the perspective. Read the fact also and read the analysis perspective also. Analysis is going to help you write the answer in the mains exam, and your fact is going to become that statistic and that example, which will be a value addition in your answers. So both are important. Thank you.
Sir, for the upcoming exam, what will be the strategy? Means upcoming anything regarding how to manage it?
See, since only 7 or 10 days are left, I'm expecting you have already solved a lot of mock papers. Now, what I would suggest is just try to boost your confidence. Because if you go low on a confidence in the exam, you would be very hesitant in making educated guess, right? And that is a very crucial aspect to clear prelims these days. You have to make an educated guess. So do something to boost your confidence. Try to solve previous year prelims question paper. Take the past 3-4 years question paper and especially the last year's question paper because not much questions were there from the current affairs. So more educated guess and elimination of options. Try solving previous year prelims question papers. That will help you boost your confidence. And just relax. Because relaxation is very important. We don't realize the value of our health until we fall sick. I had fallen sick before prelims also, before mains also. So I know the importance of it. Just relax. Don't have unnecessary stress on your mind. I agree that you will be anxious before the exam. It is normal to have it. But just realize the fact that the more relaxed you are in the exam, the better you are going to do it.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, I just wanted to ask, how did you train your mind at the time of mains or GS paper? You have to write two papers at one day. How did you manage that? The 6 hours. How did you manage? How did you train your mind actually?
This is something that I realized while giving the paper. The very first and most trivial thing is revision. Before you are going to give your general studies, you have to be very thorough with your studies. You have to revise a lot, multiple times. You have to revise your course. And other small thing that which I feel that it really worked for me was having very short notes with you, even on the day of the exam. Why I'm saying this because once you write GS1, You come out of that examination hall, you will be in that mindset where the thoughts would be related to GS1. Whatever you're thinking would be related to that aspect exam, as to what you wrote in the exam, what you didn't write, what you could have written more better. So it will be there in your mind. But you have to realize that in the next 2 hours you are going to write GS2, and those thoughts have to be at your fingertips. So in that particular time, I think short notes can be very, very helpful. Once you are going and writing your mains exam, at the final stage, this will happen that if you have made your notes well, it will be not more than this. So in the span of half an hour, you can revise your entire GS2 also. So have those very small notes with you. Because once you see those points, you will automatically get into that mindset. And that GS1 will come out of your mind. So have those small notes with you, and I cannot stress on the importance of having notes. Because if you don't have your notes, where are you going to revise from? You cannot take up the book each and every time to revise one thing. See GS1, there are 4 to 5 subjects. You cannot carry 5 books with you to revise it on the day of the exam. Have your own notes to have a frequent revision. I think that answered your question, right?
We have two very interesting questions. One is you work with ISRO. So very briefly about your experience with ISRO, and would you miss ISRO?
Well, my work in ISRO is more of research and development related work, and I cannot disclose what my work is, to be honest. So, but it is actually it is an honorable opportunity to work with such a prestigious organization. And in the past 3 years, I have learned a lot working in ISRO. So definitely, I'll be using this ISRO. That is for sure. But I think the life holds more, even greater opportunities for me in the civil services. So we'll see what happens in the future.
Okay. There is one question where a young student is asking, sir, there is a lot of fear, stage fear and problem of communication. What would be your suggestion to overcome stage fear and communication?
I still have stage fear. Even before coming to this session, my heart was throbbing. But the important part is to relax once you come there. The stage fear, anxiety will be there before any great thing that you're going to do. Before writing prelims, you will be anxious as to what will be asked. Before writing mains, you will be anxious, and even you'll be much more anxious before your interview as to what would be asked. क्या पूछेंगे वे? Right? That thought will be there. But you have to realize that you have to pass that. You have to go ahead of it. And very important thing to improve your communication skills is, see, most of the people think that studying in silence in a library is the best thing. Most of you might be studying in the library also. But what I felt was that I used to talk to myself when I used to study. What I felt is, if you teach something to someone else, you will improve your communication skills. You'll be able to revise that topic also, and you'll form some new and innovative questions in your mind. So what I used to follow, I used to lock myself in my room. I did that for 1 year, and whenever I used to study something, I used to discuss it with myself. So when I discuss it with myself, I'll be able to get my thoughts more clear. And believe me, it is the simplicity that is required in this exam. The more simple you write your essay, the more marks you will fetch. Because the essay is about clarity of thought and streamlining your thoughts into your answer sheet. The same is with the GS also. The more simple you write your answers, the more easy you make it for the examiner to understand it, the more marks you'll get. So talk to yourself or talk to other people and get more clarity in your mind. Once there's a clarity in your mind, the words will flow out of it.
Probably one last question before if we see if any questions are there. How to be consistent with preparation? Through your preparation, was there any event or a personality who was your inspiration?
When I took the preparation, initially it was a syllabus which was the inspiration for me, because you get to read so much of good content, something that by working in the technological field you are completely unaware of. You are unaware of social realities. You are unaware of the information that is around you, because we simply tend to ignore it. It is of no interest for us. But because during my preparation I could not find anyone who had cleared it in their first attempt by working in a job also and coming so late in the preparation. One inspiration for me was Neha Banerjee. She was a topper of 2019, ranked 20. She also did it in her first attempt while working. So that made me realize that if she can do it, I can also do it. And I think that you should also have the same thing, that if this person can do it in such a small span of time with so much of other commitments, then you can definitely do it in a first attempt.
Any more questions here? People who are sitting here, any questions before we close? Okay. So one last question: what was is coaching necessary really for a civil services journey? Is a question that has been repeatedly asked. So you're in a place where you can talk about it openly as you want.
Well, I did not have the liberty of going to a coaching because I did not have enough time. Uh, I don't think that coaching is necessary. I don't think that spoon feeding you the subject is necessary. But what I believe is that guidance is necessary, because we are not really aware of what is really required in this exam. So it is good to take guidance from the people who have already gone through the process. Take the help as to what is required and what is not required. I use a lot of YouTube. I used to go through a lot of toppers interviews, and I used to see what not to do rather than what to do. See, once you are into the preparation, everybody knows what to do. Everyone will tell you the same sources. There's no extraordinary sources जो एकदम संजीवनी बूटी बन जाएगा कि yes, this is what you have to read and this is how you'll sail through. There's no one source, right? So everybody knows the sources, but not everyone knows what not to do during a preparation. Look at those toppers interviews, see what mistakes they have done, and see whether you are also making those mistakes or not. If you are making those mistakes, don't make those mistakes. That will help you save time. So ensure what to do and what not to do, and don't do what is not required.
So, NCERT books are very cool. But so how to do it?
NCERT.
Yeah.
See, there is one conception that people should read NCERT from 6th class to 12th class. Even on certain platforms, you will find so extensive test papers on NCERT that NCERT is what's being asked in UPSC. That is not true. The NCERT forms the basis of your knowledge. If you have studied well in your school and if you are thorough with the social studies subject, pick up the NCERT of class 8. Do you find it too trivial? If you find it too trivial, go for 11th and 12th. Because what you study in 9th, 8th, 9th, 10th, that is what is asked, is upgraded in 11th and 12th. See whether you really need to read the NCERTs or not. For me, I just read it for geography because there was no other content available for geography, and for art and culture, fine arts NCERT. For polity, I didn't have time also, and I think Lakshmikant is so easy to understand that you really don't need NCERT for it. And the same goes for other subjects also. See what is for society. Do you really need NCERT for society? See what is asked in the examination. Do you need NCERT to study society? How I prepared society was that I looked at the syllabus, I looked at the keywords: secularism, communism, caste structure, caste system. These are the keywords. You need to have enough content to write a 250 word answer if a question comes using this keyword. That is all that is required. I would say that streamline your efforts in a more productive way. Try to reduce your unnecessary effort. Don't stress out on the NCERT that I'll read from 6 to 12. Is it really necessary? Start from, pick up an NCERT of 9th class. See whether you can easily understand it or not. If you can, go through it, go through the 11th class NCERT. 9th and 11th are same, 10th and 12th are same. Pick up the 11th class NCERT, study from that. Don't do hard work in such a manner that it is of no use for you. put your effort in the right direction, and that is where guidance is very important. And that is where coaching institutions play a good role.
I think we are largely done. There's one question on the personal side. You can definitely raise to say no about it. Is how did you manage distractions if there were any? Was there pressure from family?
Pressure from family was not there, to be honest. And see, distractions will be there in your life. It, everyone is a human. We are all social people, and everyone will have distractions. But it is important to have company of those people who help you in your journey, who understand your position and who keep on motivating you. You will find people who will say that अरे कितना बड़ा हो गया यार बात नहीं करता अभी. He is not talking to me at all. Stay away from those people. Talk to those people who give you motivation. Talk to those people who understand your problem and give you a solution. So you have to choose your circle quite wisely in this regard, and just be focused on your preparation, because that is what is going to matter at the end of 1.5 years. So be consistent with it, be dedicated to it.
I think we are done with questions. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was a very, very enthralling session. We are also very, it's an immense pleasure to have you on our first series of Know Your Story, Write Your Story series. So, to know your story so that they can write their story themselves is something that will happen to come. You will stay an inspiration for many of them, like you took a name of an inspiration. So having cleared the exam in the first attempt itself, and to get All India rank 195 is not a small story to write. Thank you so much for being present with us and spending an evening with us. This is definitely going to inspire a lot of youngsters both here and online. Thank you so much for making time, and thanking Srinivas sir also to making this possible. Hope we get to see all of you as achievers very soon. We are having a very small congregation of all the achievers very soon, and we wish you join us along with your family at that point of time. Thank you so much once again, and we close for today for this session.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.